Hello and welcome, dearest. I'm Grandma Mimsy, and I am working on plate M483. It is the Shape Nouveau, and what was I going to say? It's so much fun when you get to that point where you think you have a thought in your head and then just go complete out the window. We call those senior moments, and I've been having them for 20 years. Anyway, yeah, Shape Nouveau. This one is, I'm gonna say, not exactly a like a 4th of July related, but it can be, and it can also be used year round because it's it's got a lot of effects to it. So when I look at this one, while you can definitely, for the most part, use this one to celebrate the 4th of July for those in the United States, but you can use them as anyone for celebration or stars or anything of that as an accent plate. So, like if you have one of the other ones, I don't have easy access reach. We're still rearranging. Anyway, but it's the newer one that is the French plate that has the designs on it, and for the tips, and then along the sides and the bottom it has the clouds and whatnot. If there's not one on there that you like, you could use one of these ones to accent or to kind of not, because those ones have smaller clouds and stars and things like that. These ones can be a little bit bigger that you can then add to, is where my mind is kind of going on that. So this one is where I went through and did the stamping to show how they are able to work. This one decided it wasn't going to work for me, so we made adjustments. I just grabbed some really quick, what I had easy access to, red, white, and blue kind of shades to give you the idea. And for the most part, if you are using the red, white, and blue colors, you're going to get more bang for your pop if your base is white and you're using the red and the blue, or you're using the base color as your shade and white is your image color. Because these ones, as you can tell here, and this is why I did this in the color swatching, you're not going to get a whole lot of the other colors, the darker colors in those hues to spring in the whole image that you're trying to get. The white is the best over the darker colors, and then all the colors over the white. So however which you choose to do that is just my recommendations and suggestions for how that goes. But if you have other colors or shades that you want to try, then experiment. Get you some tips, because I'm still doing my special little mani that I did with the swirlies. I got a boo-boo, so we're not necessarily wanting to play too much with doing my nails. This is minor and I can keep it at the tips, but if I'm doing my own nails, it's a lot harder to keep. And so I just want to give it a couple of days to not let it be all mad with the acetone. Whatchamacallit. But if so since today is the 23rd, it is the first day that the Maniology theme bubble pop is now active. So if you go to subscribe, that's the plate images and things, and I'll be posting pictures a little bit later today on what those are. But if that's you want to sign up today, that's the box you will be getting. And in that box, here's a sneak peek really quick, you get a single stand with 5 of the holders to do for tips, is the free gift in the box. And it's this lovely kind of rainbowy, purpley, kind of sparkly color. It's not the plain ones like that. So if you sign up, that's the free gift. Ooh-hoo-hoo-hoo. So yeah, you can go experiment and get you some tips and just if you're a newbie, or if you're having struggles with, you've been around for a little while and you're still trying to figure out how to spark your creativity, you can get boxes of, and I know that Maniology has their own, and go get their tips if you want to use those on your nails. But if you just want to practice, you can get some cheapy, dirt, bare bones minimum of the plastic tips, and there's the stickies that I can recommend, and if anybody's interested, I can go do a video and show you all the things on there where you can do it on a tiny budget to get these items to be able to just play with. You're not doing it on your nails, you're doing it on this, and if you mess up, it's no big deal. And just play and practice. If you're more comfortable just doing it on your own nails. My only thing is because if you are putting things on and then you're stripping off with the acetone, your own natural nails are going to take some punishment on that. So that's what I'm saying. Practice on the tips so that you can, get the hang of things, and then it's no big deal. Because it's kind of like riding a bike. And Jim Rohn said you cannot send somebody else to the gym to do your push-ups. So this is a muscle memory thing, and if you're struggling with it, then find a way to ease and flow and relax into your to make things be easy. This is supposed to be for me, it's a Zen experience, because I get into the flow of doing it, and it's kind of like how people in there's a term for it, professionals, when they get into the zone, or athletes or whatever the case, they kind of get this euphoric high that they're in the middle of what they're doing, whether it's a hobby or work or exercise, or artists who want to paint a painting or sculpt something. You kind of get into that place where you're not necessarily focused, but you're not hyper being vigilant. It's almost kind of like daydreaming and working at the same time. You got to get into that flow, and when you get into that flow of the ease of what you're doing, it's so much, oh my gosh. So just experiment, and for the most part, it's one of those things that these are so small on your nails that any image from the plates, that if you go and you do it and just say, okay, I'm going to live with it for a couple of days and see how it feels, just keep doing your own nails until you get a better grasp of all the muscle. It's like driving a stick, sorry, old school. Yes, I miss having my stick in a vehicle. I miss being able to drive. I digress. But yes, once you get the muscle memory down on all these things, then just it goes with the whole process of it. It will flow out of you. So spark your creativity and just play. This is supposed to be fun, and I consider it art therapy. So it's worth the money. So the colors and the shades that I chose to pick to use, because like I said, they were what I had handy. And this is going to be, to start off with, the Bam White. The Ruby Slipper is B419. I love this shade. Gretel Brittle is B222, and that is part of the Grimm's. I forget the rest part of it, but it's a whole set, and they're beautiful, gorgeous. Oh my gosh, the colors. Oh, that whole set. And then Deep Space is B505. This is a newer polish to the lineup for Maniology, and this little heart was a gift in a recent box, and I love it. I got me a second one. I love it. Makes things so super fun. Fun. And yes, I'm using the stem of my acetone pump bottle, and I highly recommend getting one. Find a brand. Doesn't matter, what you like or don't like about the brand of the acetone. Just one that you can utilize because if it's in a sturdy, heavy bottle, then it can, you know, resist the acetone situation, and just keep refilling that puppy. Buy the bigger refill ones. Makes life so much easier. So here's one that I did earlier, and in case anybody is ever wondering, how do you do a decal? How do you do stickers? However you want to classify that. But you do the image, and not what I thought I was grabbing. Come on, fingers, don't fail me now. Okay. There we are. Woohoo! Now you can see it better. So you do the image, and then you use your top coat, the smudge-free top coat. And yeah, I get them in the little short bottles. I like them getting in the 6-pack. That works so much better. Okay, so put our piece of paper back. So you do the image, and then you give it a minute or two to let it set up so that it is dry. And then you can come back and add a layer over the top of the smudge free. And I just had a thought that while I'm doing this, for, you know, grins and giggles, I don't know why I didn't think about it earlier. I had my mind on lots of stuff. So here is my handy dandy tool. We're going to pull off a dot of the red polish, and let's see if this will work, because I haven't done this before. So it's just a, hey, let's experiment. That's how the chimichanga was born, right? Oh, that worked. Okay, so we have ourselves a winner. But basically, if you do the polish over that and let it dry, then it will peel off, and you then add the sticky base coat to your nail. Oops. Oh well. And then apply this over the top ever so gently, and it will stick. And I know I got extra on the rim, so we're just going to try and get that off before we close that up, because we don't want to have one of those I can't get it undone disasters. Put that back. And I'm not trying to do this precise. I'm just doing this to be cute and informative and inspirational. So if it's, whoops. And there we go. We really messed up on that one. That's okay. It probably won't show up because I think that one's going to be so far out of the realm of the actual nail that it probably isn't going to get noticed. So now I'm going to let that sit there for a minute and go on to other things. So that's opened up. Give me one of my, nope, I have it already ready to go. What am I thinking? See, that's why I like this, because when I'm doing these projects like this, then I can do a bunch in that thing, and it's still a relatively new concept, so sometimes I forget. Because I like using the pump. The pump makes things a lot easier, but at the same time, it's like back and forth, back and forth. Having that in that little jar, so that's the purple easy button. And I like those buttons. I like those buttons being easy peasy. So stick that over there, stick that. I'm going to stick that right there. Let that dry for a minute. And then Butterfingers. Okay. There, now we can stamp. We have all the things out of our, and so this is the Ruby Slipper, the Bam White, Deep Space, and the Gretel Brittle. I don't know if you, here, we'll come up a little closer so you can see better. So Ruby Slipper, Bam White, Deep Space, and Gretel Brittle are the shades. And then move this down. Now we have everything set up so it's all convenient. And that's the other thing, is find different places. You know, move your items and your goodies into places that will make it easier for you to streamline and grab and do and all that neat stuff. Okay, I think that's sat enough. So we'll put that back. And hey, we're set. Okay, and then you just want to kind of dab a little bit. You're not sliding. Nope, we didn't get anything on it. Doing a quick dab because this is semi-fresh and we don't want it to bleed or smear. And yes, you're going to put a generous amount that once you get enough coverage, then you can kind of paint across and make sure you get everything on your, and you can kind of see, did I cover it? Did I get it all? So yes, for the most part, wipe off your brush before you put it in after you have exposed it to other shades of polish, so you don't get it all murky and goopy. And so now that is going to be sitting over here out of my way so that it doesn't get hopefully bumped or messed with or anything. Okay, so what I think I want to do is I want to take and do kind of a, nope, change my mind on that one. Different shades, different pattern, different, I'll explain in just a minute. Okay, so okay, it didn't fill all the way down because the tip is just longer, but there were parts that didn't finish, so I'm just taking those down to the edge and filling in all the bare spots, because why not? Woohoo! And the other thing that might be cute is to then go over it. We're just going to do half. Go over it with something sparkly. Woohoo! And as you can see, it does get, I mean, it's still shiny, but it does get a bit duller after you let it dry. See, and because I went down in this part where the sparkle is, there's, I don't know, you can't see with the flash reflection, but there's a few that picked up over here. So I did grab some of that with my brush. So I am going to do a quick grab some and clear off my brush. And if you really wanted to, you could grab one of your, oh, see, we had other stuff on there too. That's a good thing I did. But I was going to say, if you really wanted to, these come out they're called a paddle brush, and these you can pull out and clean them off. And something I did a video on that, you know, regularly, if you take time, you can pull all those out of the other bottle, because all of them are like that. Every single one from Maniology. Pull them out and go cleaning. There's an entire video on how to clean your plate and how to clean your stuff. And, you know, it's like you, after you make dinner, or use your bathroom, you clean up the facilities. You clean up your area on a regular basis. I hope most people do. But you go in after you have lived and used those spaces, you go back and clean them up. Your items from Maniology and nail care and all that neat stuff, it's no different. You do have to go in and do, because it's one of those things, you know, there's a company out there that says life is messy, clean it up. Well, your hobbies can be messy, clean them up. And yeah, I get things all over me all the time. Okay, so go back to what I was doing. Where was I? Train of thought. What are you doing? Where's your head at? Everywhere! My head is everywhere. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of the blue. Or, excuse me, the red. I was looking at blue. Do a little of that blue. It's actually a purpley blue, but, you know, the way it shows up, it does come off to me as a good, whoops, we didn't mean to do that, but hey, there you go. It does come off as a good shade for the flag. But that's just my opinion. You want a different shade for it? Go for it. But you could do any flag. You don't it doesn't have to be the United States. You could do this for any of your, if you're in another country, do this with your country's colors. And, you know, hopefully didn't smudge that too much that it isn't going to pick up well. Fingers, fingers, fingers. Ooh, pretty. Isn't that cute? Yeah, I'm having one of those days I am dropping everything. Okay, so where is my sticky base coat? And these are not necessarily set up as a set of, like, normally these ones right here, you know, would be, these ones are kind of set up in a different configuration that you don't have to use them in, like, 6 items. You can do them as a 3 set or a 1 set, or however you wanted to include those. Because remember, this is you being creative and expressing what you desire, what inspires or uplifts or gives you the warm and fuzzies, because that's what it is all about, is you finding your happy space. So essentially, And yeah, just like doing your regular stamping, and be very careful if you're using these ones, you want to go sideways. But you can then, if you notice, it will completely, if you do it ever so gently, because how you grab it, if you're not careful, it can become brittle and fall off. So you're just, and it's the tiniest, 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 tiniest of pressure that you are then pulling off. And that's a streaming sticky of the, and so, yeah, it's still wet right there. That's why it's doing that. Okay, so we did the sticky base. Careful how you, now you can continue to use the tweezers, or you can do this manually with your fingers, and then you can line it up. And you can do these on tips or natural nails. If you're doing it on natural nails, you're going to want to trim it down just to be, because it's going to go around the cuticle and everything. Basically, what you would do, I don't have my scissors handy, so we'll just do this. But you would trim it down, because you want to wait till it's a little more dry. I kind of rushed that. But you would lay it over your nail and kind of get the feel for where you can trim it, and leave it a little extra. And then when you're done, see, even if you don't trim it, you can then, you go over with your smudge-free top coat, and it will kind of give it that extra glue to lay things down. And yeah, I do a good amount of coats. But as you're doing it, then the polish from the previous that you laid down as part of making it be the sticker, it then tends to kind of shrivel. I don't know if you did Shrinky Dinks as a kid. I know they're still around, but they're really expensive. But it kind of cinches up. And then if you're doing this on your natural nail, you can take your cleanup brush and dip it into your acetone, and just as you go around, but start over. You paint it down on your natural nail with the smudge-free top coat, and you fully let that dry. Give it a good 3 to 5 minutes. If you want, at that point, you can then do a top coat cover, and I would do 2 layers of that. Don't worry about the excess, just paint it down. But when you lay it down, you're going to want to do either the smudge-free layer or the sticky base coat. When you lay that down, then you can take your brush dry, and go in and make the indentation around, so where the excess would be around your cuticle, and then let that sit. And then do your next layers that you're going to use to seal in your sticker. And then when you're completely done, then you can take your cleanup brush and, like you would, go around, and it'll completely come off. And if you wet your fingers or wash your hands before you lay that down, and add moisturizer or oil or something to your skin, or use the sticker thingies around the Mani mask, which is this stuff. If you use one of the Mani masks, if you use tape of some sort, or the cuticle stickers, if that's what you have and you want to do, then you can kind of do that around the cuticle as well. But this really cleans up, because it's just the sheer polish, cleans up super fast and super easy. And so there's that option. And then what are we going to do with and I'm going back and forth between the two so that the colors kind of mix a little. And then I'm going to stick that one up there so that I don't touch that wrong end. And then we're going to scrape again and do the pickup, and here we go. Line it up. So you get a little bit of the blue. Not a whole lot, but there's a little bit. Oops, too close, too close. There we go. Well, that is Maniology's M483 Shape Nouveau. I'll grab all these so you can see. All the options. And there's so many configurations you can do with the stars. I mean, you can do one as an accent. You can do others as, like these ones, you can fill them in. You can do them as an outline. You can do one over the other. There's just so many possibilities of this. And then you can do some of these smaller images. You can do those as an effects. So basically paint your base polish of the shade you want to do. Use a contrasting color that will pop, and do these smaller ones over. And then if you have a different image from a different plate, or one of the stars that you want to stand out, and then do that in a different coordinating color that will pop. So you're doing 3 layers, your base, the star images, and then the other image on top. You can do a whole collage. I mean, seriously, there's a lot you can do with this plate. Even though it looks like, hey, it's just stars and it's basic, sometimes the most basic plate can give you the most bang for your buck. And if you're looking for something that can add to your collection and create other things along with the plates that you already have, if you're on a budget, this is one that you can do a lot of sparkle and, you know, I keep using the word accent because there's nothing else coming to mind that I can think of, but I highly recommend. Anywho, and you have enough time that if you are able to get it now, don't fear the FOMO. If this is not something that is in your option, or if you just placed an order and it's a little too late, that's okay. But you still have plenty of time. You can go get this in time for the 4th, but keep an eye out because we're getting close to that part where Maniology will probably be offering some sort of sale or specials or bonus thingies. So keep watching in the next couple of days, because we're getting towards the end of June, that right before 4th of July, just in time, they're going to do probably another special of something in lieu of the holiday. So please be kind. The world needs way more kindness and understanding. Don't let those who are in the Misery Loves Company Club recruit you, because they are always recruiting. Sometimes they are not aware that they are in the Misery Loves Company. They're just misery looking for company. Help them find their way out of that membership. I'm a former member, doing my best to not go back, and inspiring or hoping to lead others out, because it's so much better to not be in that Misery Loves Company. Please acknowledge and help those who are in the service industry jobs. They're a thankless job, but thank the people that help you every single day that otherwise you would just not pay attention to or recognize or realize that you need the bank teller and the cashier and the food service worker and all these people that normally just get the worst of the worst of the worst when you call into a company. There's a whole group now that it started off with one person, and now everybody's kind of getting on the bandwagon and doing these cartoons about Veronica and toxic workplace and the things that bosses are trying to get over on them. And it's just, you know, we have to treat each other better as humanity, or otherwise we will go by the way of the ancient civilizations that no longer exist. I wish everybody well in the next couple of weeks. I hope you have a safe, happy, healthy 4th of July. Don't do anything that could potentially hurt anyone. And I hope we survive the day with the least amount of bad things that happen. I know sometimes bad things happen and you got to pick yourself up and figure out how you're going to get through it. But please be mindful of what you're doing when you're drinking. Follow your city's ordinances if there's any areas in your county or restrictions. Don't throw things that could potentially light somebody else's house on fire, or blow up their car, or trigger warning, sorry, but you know what I mean, just be safe during the holiday season coming up. Enjoy good food and family, and if you gotta work, well, extra money. Anyway, more nail goodies. Yay! See you soon. Bye.